Hello, hello, welcome. My name is Sabrina Rising. I'm a spiritual mentor and a psychic medium, and welcome to Oracle Hour. I am so thrilled to be here with you all. I love hosting this broadcast every week. As you know, I'm here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And we start off Oracle Hour. I usually give a talk about what's happening in the collective, what you might be going through, some of the common themes and patterns that I see in my own life and also in the life of my clients. So I'll spend some time addressing that. And then, of course, we jump into live on the spot intuitive readings and spirit messages. So if you have a question that's on your heart and you have a burning desire to ask, to receive, please do so. Don't be shy. Post your questions in the chat. We are actually live in 3 places. We're live on Instagram and Facebook. But if you want to ask a question, the best place to be is on YouTube. So find us on YouTube at Sabrina Rising and post your questions in the chats, in the comment section, and I will come to it on a first come, first serve basis. Okay. And of course, don't be shy to ask whatever it is that you might be struggling with. It could be a question about your life path, your purpose, your relationship, your finances, whatever it is that you're struggling with. If you have something that you really want guidance on, of course, I'd be happy to channel universal intelligence on your behalf. Okay. If you are seeking a mediumship connection, if you really desire mediumship and you want to connect with a loved one that's crossed over, and this is really what's on your heart, then I recommend you book in for the upcoming mediumship class. I think I have one in April that's coming up, and I'll let Lacey, my trusted moderator who's here, one of these days you'll meet her. She will post a link to that as well. Okay, so the mediumship class is a Zoom environment. It's much more conducive to interacting with your loved ones that have crossed over. We can see each other. So book yourself there if you want a mediumship connection. Of course, if there's someone here for you from the spirit realm that wants to connect with you, that has a message for you, I won't say no. I will absolutely offer that message. But if this is something you specifically desire and you want to spend time there, then come to the mediumship class in April. Okay, so for tonight, we're going to talk about, there it is. Thank you, Lacey. There is the 2-hour mediumship experience coming up. So that's the link, and we'll post it at the end as well. All right, good. So for tonight, I really want to address this intense energy that we've all been experiencing. We have back-to-back eclipses. There's lots of upheaval, lots of heaviness. Most of the themes that I've been noticing in my client sessions is, big decisions to be made. Am I quitting my job? Should I, break up with my boyfriend? Should I change direction in my business? There's all these big decisions that seem to be coming down for people. And these are really, really tender times. Okay. So we're all feeling very sensitive. We're all feeling very raw and vulnerable. And so my recommendation during this time, first of all, if you're not clear on what there is to do, then the first piece of advice I would give you is to pause and really learn to regulate your nervous system so you can step out of fear and stay grounded and present in the moment. Okay, and I love to do this by using the diaphragmatic breathing in, belly out, exhaling, let the belly drop naturally. Do some big diaphragmatic breaths, 3 or 4 of those at a time. And you see the difference in your body and your energy. You feel grounded and supported. And this will give you the foundation to have access to your own inner knowing. Okay. Your body knows. Your body always knows what the right move is to do. So notice when you're making a decision, if you have to choose something in your life, if this is the point you're at in your life and you sit with that decision, if the first response feels tense, it feels nervous, it feels like it doesn't quite feel right, I want you to trust that. Okay. And if the first response feels open and expansive, and yet you notice that the ego kicks in, your identity kicks in and says, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, and it causes a lot of doubt and confusion and second guessing, then you've lost connection to your own inner guidance. Okay. So, and I teach this in my courses when I teach people how to access their intuition. It's really important to come to this work with a sound mind and a sound body. We want to be able to come out of rumination and into the present moment, grounded in our physical bodies, grounded in the present moment so that we can have peace. And from there, where there's no noise, that's when we can access clear guidance from universal intelligence. And this is what I do. I do it for my clients, and I do it here for you live on Wednesdays when you're asking questions from the spirit realm or from your loved ones that have crossed over. This is what I'm doing. I'm just letting go of any attachment to any outcome, and I'm allowing information to come through so I can give you access to whatever serves your highest and best good. Making sure as well as you're going through this tender time that you're really valuing yourself. Okay, so sometimes we make decisions because we feel that we might miss out, or we feel like we're unworthy, or we feel like this is the best that I can do, or we feel like we need to settle, and so on. So I invite you to really examine your own state of mind as you're making life choices. Okay, so whatever the big decision is that you're going through, whatever's coming up for you to decide, ask yourself, what part of me is making this decision? What's driving me to choose this? Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from the fear of loss, the fear of abandonment, the fear of missing out, the fear of the future, or the fear of the past repeating itself? These are not good choices. Okay, so we want to make sure that the part of you that's making this decision is coming from a grounded, peaceful embodiment of unconditional self-love and self-acceptance. When I love and accept myself exactly as I am, would I choose this? If I was at the highest and best expression of myself, if I was fully embodied in everything that I believe that I'm worth, would I choose this? Right? So I really want you to start holding that standard for yourself in your life when you're making big decisions, and really examine, what part of you needs this or wants this. Okay. And so if we learn to make choices that are grounded in love and in self-acceptance and self-compassion and non-judgment, we find that our intuition becomes louder and louder, and we start to pave the way to our most aligned, authentic life. And this is what we all want. We want to live a fulfilled, self-expressed life. And so the best way is to just take your decisions one choice at a time, one moment at a time, and stay grounded in your practice. Okay, so this is my invitation, that everybody takes the time in these very turbulent, seemingly chaotic times, when there's lots of big moves happening and things that might be life-altering for you, to really zero in on your value, your worth, how you want to feel and what's driving your decisions, and then choosing from a place of peace so that you can hear what serves your highest and best good without bias, without attachment to the outcome, and really hear it as something that serves you. Okay. And sometimes we hear things that we don't want to hear, but it's important to be able to embrace that truth so that we can, again, make the choices that serve our highest and best good. All right. So that's my advice for you this evening. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining me. It's good to see you all. Hi, Shiloh. Hi, Lacey. Hi, Lacey. Hi, Kay. Hello. Nice to see you. Hi, Jolie. Okay, good. So, Lacey, let's take the first question. Okay, so Shiloh says, let's see here. Shiloh says, hi, Sabrina. I would like to know, when younger son comes to see me, will he have an infant with him, or is he visiting to share some family news? The family event coming up, illness or D timeline? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by D timeline, but I think I can answer your question as you are stating it. And maybe you can verify or just explain a little further what you mean by D timeline. Okay, so he's coming alone. This is the first thing I hear when I close my eyes and I tune into your energy. I feel like he's coming alone. There's going to be an attempt to reconnect with you, sort of just connect and make sure that it's okay, make sure that it's safe, that he's still welcome, that you're still open, you're still ready and willing to receive him. So it feels like and it doesn't feel like it's a big, long thing. It looks like, oh, possibly death. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think it's death. I don't see a death in your family anytime soon. So, but I appreciate you asking that question. I don't feel that. I feel there is more of like a family situation where you're all sort of gathered around each other for the first time. It seems like there's other members that are coming around for the first time in a long time. Okay. So I don't, I feel like your younger son is going to reach out to you on his own first, just to make sure that everything is there's you're openly receptive to him. He's welcome. It's safe to do so. And then you'll see the rest of the family show up as well. Okay, so that it's kind of like you're making contact first, and you both know that you're going to see each other at this other event where the rest of your family is there as well. That's how I see it unfolding. I don't know that it's again, death is tricky because death can mean so many things. It doesn't necessarily mean the death of the physical body. It can be the death of an identity, or the death of a behavior, or the death of a pattern in a relationship. As we're reading energy, it can show up in so many different ways. And so I want to say that there is, it's more of a family crisis or a family event that brings people together. And that's what there is. And that's where you'll see everybody that you have. It feels like you're not seeing the whole family, but everybody, that a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while, that have sort of been on your heart for a while. Shiloh, there's a really deep heart's desire to connect. Yeah. So Shiloh says, oh, very true. So there's a real deep heart's desire to connect with your loved ones. Okay. This is a big wound that you've been carrying for a while. And I know that you've sort of made peace with sort of accepting where things are, and setting proper boundaries, which is wonderful and healthy. And yet there's a deep longing to feel the love of these connections. And this is normal. It's human. It's natural. Sometimes we cut people out of our lives just because we need to set healthy boundaries, and it feels good to set that healthy boundary. And it feels like this is an act of self-care, but yet there is still an energetic cord that ties us to our family members, especially those that are blood related to us. Okay. So you still there's an energetic tie here. And so the possibility of healing and coming together and being able to connect in love, exists here. And so I want to make sure that that's still present for you, and you haven't sort of given up on that. Okay. I want you to know that deep heart's desire is part of what's manifesting these events in your life. Okay. We are always creating our reality. We're always creating the circumstances in our lives based on our energy, based on what we're putting out into the universe, based on our desires, based on our language, our thinking, our actions. Okay, so everything about how you are and how you show up in the world is shaping your circumstances. Okay, so because there's this deep heart's desire, you are drawing this into you. But what I love about this reading for you, Shiloh, is that by the time everybody comes around, and by the time you show up in this family gathering, you'll be in a different place. Okay, you'll be in a much healthier place, in a much more confident and self-honoring place, so that you can interact with these family members in a way where you're not feeling shame or guilt, or you're not feeling the need to protect yourself as much as you have in the past. Okay, so I hope that made sense for you, Shiloh. Feel free to validate anything, and thank you for stopping by. Good. We'll take the next question. Hi, Jolie. Jolie says, hi, Sabrina. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're having a great week too. I wanted to ask, what do you see about me returning to either healthcare or going into finance for more stability while I can continue to build my business? You're welcome, Shiloh. Okay, so we just finished talking about, like, I love this question, Julie, because I just finished addressing, like, be clear on examining what's driving your choices, right? Are you choosing this from fear? Or are you choosing this from love? Is the part of you that is afraid of not being okay and not being able to provide for yourself making this decision? Or is it the part of you that trusts and knows and is embodied in what you're creating and believes that you're going to be provided for, right? Exactly. Yes, it's perfect timing. So we just finished it, and it's always like that. I really appreciate getting how the Oracle Hour gets us going in the beginning. The first couple of questions usually sets the tone for the rest of the show. So this is what I mean. Like, I want you to really get clear with yourself. If money was no object, right? If you could choose anything just out of pure joy, right? What would really fill your heart, would you choose to go back into finance and healthcare, right? So if the answer is I'm just doing this in the meantime, like if it doesn't feel good and supportive, then the answer is no, right? This is what I would say. I would spend your time focusing on, what it is that you want to create, the things that really bring you joy, the things that you're very passionate about, and build from there. Okay. In the end, is there anything wrong with going back into finance and healthcare? Of course not, but you're not going to be happy. You won't be happy, and you'll be compromising your energy. And I want to say too, especially the healthcare option is a big drain, is a big energy drain. So I would really advise against that. I don't think it's really, I think it's going to distract you from what it is that you're creating. So many of us, in entrepreneurship have said, oh, I'm just going to do this for a while I build my business. And then you end up doing that more than you have time to actually build your business. Okay. So the message for you tonight, Julie, is to get very honest with yourself about what you want to create, where you want to put your energy, how you want to express yourself in the world, and really trust that you're making that decision from an embodied place of self-confidence and knowing that you're going to be okay and provided for, because you will. In fact, I want to go a step further and tell you that if you spend time focused on your creative expression. I think you're a coach, right? You've been here before. So you spend some time focused on your creative expression, and really dedicate your energy to that. It's going to pick up, and it's going to pick up quickly. Julie says, yes, when I left healthcare, it was very overwhelming. I was completely overworked, but the finances were great. Yeah. Good. So the healthcare option is, I mean, I know it's tempting, right? Because you want to feel like you have the income, but it's not where your heart is, right? And there's a reason that you left. And so, I would advise you not to go backwards. Oftentimes when we go back to things that we used to know, or that were used to provide a source of comfort, or used to be good at one point, we find that it's just not the same, right? And there's a reason you left there. And I want you to honor that, honor your truth, and focus your energy on what you actually want to create in your life. Okay. Because I do see that things are going to really pick up for you. You just got to put a little bit more of your time and attention there, and shift your mindset around what's possible. Okay. So that is, this is true for you, Julie, and it's true for anybody that's watching. Your belief system influences every cell in your body. So if you believe it's going to be hard, and if you believe it's tough, and you believe that there's, that you need to struggle, or that, money is hard to come by, or whatever your limiting beliefs are, you're going to create that. Okay. So it's really important to shift those beliefs and to sit with all the feelings that brings up for you, because that's how we rewire our brains, right? So to really sit with those feelings and make sure you can meet them with love and compassion, so you can start embodying a new belief system, and then watch what happens in your life. Okay, Jolie? So my advice is no to healthcare and finance. My advice is stay on the path that you're on. You already know what you want to do. You already know what you're passionate about. And there's a reason why you're in this situation. So trust where you are. Okay. Thank you, Jolie. I hope that made sense. It was clear. Very good. Okay, who's next? Jolie says, yes, I needed to hear that. Thank you. Good. I'm so glad I was able to tell you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Hi, Kay. Kay says, hi, what career opportunities do you see coming in for me in the next month? Thank you. Oh, that's very specific. Okay, let me see what I see for you. So, and I feel like I've channeled for you before. So I feel like there's, when I tune into your energy, for some reason, I see you in a local shop. Like it's very specific, I see you in like a local, it's in your community. It's not far from where you live. It can be, I don't know if it's a retail type of situation, but it's like a local place that you're working in. It's got a community energy to it. Okay. And I think this would be very good for you to step out of your house and to be more out in the world and interacting with people. It's got some kind of it's got some element of customer service to it, but it's not just that. It's actually more creative, yeah, I'm just going to say that it looks like design or creative. It can be, I even see like there's flowers involved. Maybe it's a flower shop or something like that. But like it looks like there's something in your community that is actually more creative and more lends to you making things for people, or you creating things for people. And this is what I see as far as career opportunities. And I know this might sound different than what you've been looking for, what you've been sort of searching for as an opportunity, but it's really good for you to be in a different type of working environment. I want to say that you actually thrive with other people around you, like working in a small group or in a small team. That feels like it's really conducive to your energy. Okay, you really feed off of other people's energy. So I would recommend looking at, something where you're with other people. Again, it's out, it's in person, and the word community keeps coming through as well. So though that's what I see would be most beneficial for your particular energy as it's coming through. Kay says, do you see me going back to my regular job next month? No, I don't. I mean, it's up to you. You can if you want to. I think the option will be there if you want to. But I feel like there's this, what I'm suggesting, and I really want you to sit with it, is going to be more beneficial. You'll be happier. You'll be freer. There'll be less pressure. It'll be something you can kind of walk away from and forget about it. It's kind of like you'll have peace in the evenings. Your life will start to belong to you again. So that's what I want to say. I think you can go back to your job if you want to, like I said, but this is not the path to happiness. And again, I'm going to say what I said to Jolie, what I said at the beginning. When you're making a decision, always sit and ask yourself, what part of me is choosing this? Right? What is this? Am I choosing this out of fear, or am I choosing this from a grounded place of love and self-awareness, trusting that I'm going to be provided for? Okay. So these are the possibilities that I see for you. I really want you to start looking, and it doesn't look like it's something that you find online either. It might be something that you just kind of happen to find out about in your community. There's an opening, and it's like perfect timing. You're right there in flow, taking advantage of this opportunity, and that's going to be very beneficial for you. So I'd love to hear about how that unfolds. Come back and let me know. And yeah, I'm wishing you all the best in the meantime. All right, good. Who's next? Kay says, I will keep an eye out for what comes up. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, come back and let us know. We'd love to hear about it, and we'd love to support you in your work endeavors. Hi, Rhonda. Welcome. Rhonda says, hello, Sabrina, in chat. Good to have you here, Rhonda. Sabrina, as you know, I am doing the work to revisit my childhood. Yes, I know, and begin to represent myself. Very good. I know I'm not alone, but I feel I need confirmation, guides, angels, family. Okay. You want confirmation that you are worthy of love, that you're worthy of getting your needs met. It sounds like there's I'm just going to tune in and see what I feel for you. I mean, your spirit team is like, don't give up. You've come so far, right? You've got so much more life in you that you're not alone on this journey. Yeah. I feel that. I feel that there is a part of you that feels, like you could use some more connections or use support and so on. And I want that for you. I want you to be able to invite that in. Okay. So, Rhonda, the best advice I could give you is to really practice the belief that you're worthy of love, that you can embody love, that you are love, that you are willing to receive love, that it's safe, especially for you, that it's safe to receive love. And this might be true for you and for all of us, right? We have ways of blocking out the love that we so desperately desire because we want to keep ourselves safe. Okay. So you're, unconsciously, you might be keeping yourself away from relationships or from connections and so on. But I feel when I tune into your energy, Rhonda, I feel like, you are kind of going out and doing things, but spiritually you might feel disconnected, and that's very different. Okay. So you can have friends in your life and people in your life and feel loved and supported in your relationships, but spiritually feeling disconnected is a whole other, that's a whole other um, uh, uh, experience. Okay. And so I want you to continue to practice connecting with your loved ones, and, meditating and doing breath work and doing all the things that we've talked about, you practicing so that you feel like you're supported. Okay, this is true for you and for anybody who's watching. If you don't have a spiritual practice that's connecting you to your higher self, to universal intelligence, then of course you would feel alone. Anybody would feel alone. I remember a time in my life where I felt like I was completely on my own and that I didn't have this guidance. And someone says, you may be right about my spiritual connection. Yeah, that's what's missing. Okay, so because you have people around you, and I want to say that you don't, you know, um, I feel like you've got good standards in place too. So it's not like you just kind of let anybody in your circle, you are, you're very sort of vigilant. I know, yes, I know that you're doing the work, Rhonda. So I know that you're vigilant in terms of who you let into your life and who's around you and who's, who you're going to entertain, which is beautiful. And that can also feel isolating if you don't have a spiritual connection. Okay, so this is important for everybody to know that we are surrounded by love and support from the spirit realm. Okay, so I want to say too, yeah. So, and I know that we've done some work around you connecting with your father that you've never met. And so I want you to really lean into your practice so that you can really intend to receive messages and guidance. Yes, no energy vampires. That's right. And so you get to determine that. You get to choose, right? Who's going to attach themselves to your energy field and so on, how much of your energy you give away. So I want you to really lean into your spiritual practice more and practice developing a dialogue with universal intelligence so that you can feel, hear, and see the presence of your loved ones, of your spirit guides, of God, and feel like you're not alone. This is what's missing in your life. Okay. So the other message I'm hearing from you too is, this is a strange message, but there's something about like buying new clothes or giving, and I think it's rooted in giving yourself doing some nice things for yourself. Okay, so giving yourself some nice things, maybe upgrading your wardrobe so you can go out and feel good, doing some things like that would really kind of boost up your self-esteem and your morale, and there's some things that you can do. I feel like you need to do aesthetically even, to really sort of improve your relationship to yourself and to gain that confidence as you go out in the world and make new connections and invite new people into your life. Okay. So that made me laugh when I heard that, but just something about beautifying your environment, including yourself, I think will also help expand your magnetism and invite in new relationships. I appreciate you and your suggestions. Okay, good. You're welcome. I think that would make you more magnetic. It would make you feel more magnetic, and that would invite new connections into your life. Okay. So, yes, that's the message I have for you. And, and as you say, you're doing the work, I want to take the heaviness off of you. All right. It doesn't have to feel like a heavy lift, connecting with your loved ones and doing the inner work around, mother relationship, father relationship doesn't have to feel like a heavy lift. You can just do this in small increments and just notice, that part of you that has an unmet need, that needs to feel that reassurance, that wants that, that love and that compassion from your loved ones, leaning into that gently, and giving yourself lots of grace and lots of compassion, as you move through this phase of your life of healing your childhood. Okay. So I send you all my love, and I hope that's helpful. Okay. Next question. Hi, Johanna. Johanna says, hi, Sabrina. I wanted to see if you could please tell me how things in the romantic aspect look for me. Okay. I broke up with my ex-boyfriend a month ago, maybe. So here we go. Let me see what I can tune in for you on your behalf, Johanna. Yeah. So, there's some healing to do still around, getting yourself ready for a new relationship. Okay. So, it's interesting because the ex-boyfriend, this relationship feels like an on and off. Okay. So it feels like something that, there is still a lot of attachment here. Okay. And there's a lot of energetic cords that are binding the two of you together. You haven't fully let go yet. And there's a part of you that wants to kind of, again, what is motivating your choice? Is it fear? The fear of feeling the deep feelings of loss and grief and anxiety of being separated, of being alone, being on your own? Or is it love and groundedness and readiness? Am I coming to this choice from a sane and grounded place of this is what's going to serve my highest and best good? Okay. So romantic aspect for you at this time, and it's interesting because you have a lot of options. So it's not, I feel like there is, it wouldn't be difficult for you to stumble upon the same type of relationship that you've been in before, right? And I want to advise you to avoid that. I want to advise you to really get clear on the kind of relationship you want to be in and how you want to feel in your relationship, how you want to experience yourself in this relationship before you say yes to anybody. Okay. There is some healing work to do. Okay. I would take the next 2 to 3 months to just focus on yourself and focus on getting yourself, setting very clear boundaries, making sure that it's really over with this person, which, I know you didn't ask me this question, but I'm going to tell you anyways that it really needs to be. Let me see, what are you saying, Johanna? We broke up a month ago because he was an alcoholic. Okay, so he didn't want to change and was getting verbally abusive. I moved out and I'm building myself up again. Okay, good. So this is what I'm saying. Exactly. So definitely needs to be over with this person. He's this, again, there is a codependent, a lot of enmeshment in this relationship, and the verbal abuse makes sense because these type of relationships can be very sticky. And when we get trapped inside of them, it's hard to leave, right? And it's hard not to get sucked back in. So I just want to caution you, it's time for you to really spend, to set some healthy boundaries first and foremost, to make sure it's over with this guy and really spend your time healing. Okay. And, doing the work to observe what part of you, chose this, allowed it, co-created this dynamic in your life. I mean, we're all responsible, partially responsible for the circumstances in our life. I say partially because in a relationship, it's a co-creation, right? So what part of you enabled and allowed and stayed in this relationship much longer than you should have, right? And really looking at those parts of you and saying, okay, what is it about me that I need to heal and I need to shift so that I don't choose that again, right? So that I choose something more something healthier, something more empowering, something that is better suited for the way I want to be treated and the way I want to experience myself in relationship. Okay. So that's the healing work you need to do. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you do this embodiment work, I feel like it's not long after that there is, I want to say to you that it's your issue is not meeting people. It's being ready to meet the right person. Okay. So there will be many opportunities for you to say no in the next little while, and really just choosing yourself. You're in a phase of choosing yourself right now. And that's what you need to put your focus on. Okay. What is Joanna saying? I drew the line and my boundaries, but he couldn't compromise. So I left with my head up. I felt he took me for granted. Good. Okay. Look, an alcoholic can't be in a relationship with another human because an alcoholic is in a relationship with alcohol. All right. So that's their first priority. And so until he decides to get well and get himself figured out and, find new and healthier ways to cope, he's not really present to love you. Okay. And so, of course, you felt unappreciated. Of course, you felt taken for granted. You couldn't have felt prioritized. It's not possible to feel prioritized when we're in a relationship with someone who is destroying themselves, okay, or engaging in active self-destructive behaviors. So you made the right choice. You know that already. You just got to stick to your guns and really focus on that part of you that is kind of attracted to these broken wings and these, these guys that you sort of have to like help and heal and help fix. And, that's a pattern that you need to address. Okay. So do that healing work first. And I want to acknowledge you, publicly. I want to acknowledge you for the courage it took to leave this person, to choose yourself, to realize that you deserve better, and to, really focus on building yourself up again. Okay. And I want to encourage you to stay on that trajectory and really focus on what it is that you want, what the kind of experience you want to have in your next relationship and who you want to be. Right. And from there, it won't be long before you manifest someone new. Okay, Johanna? And I send you all my love. Come back and let me know how this unfolds for you. Okay, next question, Lacey. Hi, Julie. Oh my goodness. Hi. Nice to see you here. Julie says, wondering if there is anything to share in regards to my career and living situation past, please. Okay. I'm so happy to channel for you, Julie. Let's see what we got. So, okay, so I see you, first of all. I mean, I happen to know that you're living a cold climate, but I see you in the cold. Okay, so you're in the cold, and it's getting in. It feels like it's kind of getting in your bones, right? So there is a need to take a break from that, right? There's a need to take a break from this sort of cold, isolated environment that you're in. And it's time to really move into, and this is again the pattern in tonight's Oracle Hour. You can see some of the messages are very similar. It's time for you to come into community more. Okay, so it's I feel like there's been a long period of isolation, and now it's time for you to sort of move into you need to be around other people and be in an environment where you can like walk to things and have a sense of community, have some friends around you. Like that would be what serves your highest and best good right now in terms of your path. Okay. It's interesting because I sense that there's, what I'm seeing when I tune into you is there's like kind of like running into old friends or old acquaintances. There's that type of energy, and there might be some type of career opportunity that opens up as a result of that. Okay. I feel like, I feel like that's what's on the horizon. It's so interesting because, I see you, I mean, obviously I know that you have a love for the healing arts and that kind of thing, but I actually see you doing more creative work. Okay. So something that's creative and that uses your skill sets and is still revolves around helping people somehow. Julie says, yes, that totally resonates. Okay, good. So get out of the cold and warm yourself up and get into a more community environment, be in a more of a hub. You've been in isolation. I want to say to Julie that it's time to stop punishing yourself, and I say this with love and respect. It's really time to get you to take yourself off the hook and to join. And I want to tell you, like the spirit realm is saying, like join the land of the living, and start, inviting opportunities into your life, because I feel like you've sort of been blocking things out for some time, just, having to deal with yourself. Okay. And so I want to tell you that you're worthy of the dreams that you're having, of your desires. Julie says design work or healing. It's interesting. I want to say that there is a overlap. Okay. It's not one or the other. They really go together. All right. So this design work that you're doing, definitely creative. So I see you doing creative projects. but it's still in the healing realm. So it could be design work for, you know, healing arts studio, or design work for a client in the healing arts, or that kind of thing. So they overlap, all right? And I don't want you to abandon your love of the healing arts as well, because that's always going to be a part of you no matter what, okay? So I want you to continue to incorporate that. And even as you're choosing clients, you can choose sort of conscious companies or conscious brands or conscious, clients that are in the healing space to do design work for. Okay. So that's kind of the overlap that I'm seeing. But it's really about you choosing yourself. Okay. This is, again, same message, similar message. It's about you really choosing yourself and choosing, like, I'm worthy of the dreams I'm having, of my soul's calling, of, having all of my needs met, of being fully self-expressed, of using all of my life's experience, everything that you've been through, to be able to share this with the world now. It's kind of like the vision I have when I tune into your energy is like this wise woman coming down the mountain, out of her cave, down the mountain, and joining the tribe to share her experience and share her art and share her, what does Julie say? I applied for art therapy school in Western Canada. I'm like, that's beautiful. Okay, so there's you going into the classroom, into this community, and art therapy is perfect because it's creative and it's still helping people, right? That's spot on. So I love this for you. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful expression of your energy and your gifts. And it's going to open up a whole new world for you. And I think this makes sense around I had said something around like running into old friends or running into, familiar acquaintances. That's going to start happening. Okay. So, and that could open up some other possibilities as well. Okay. So I want you to keep me posted. All right. So come back and let me know how this unfolds for you. I hope that resonates, and I hope you got the confirmation that you're looking for. It's good to see you, Julie. Okay, good. Julie says, also hoping for a family drama resolution with my sisters and mom. Oh, okay. So that's a different question. Let me see what I have there. This is an old story, feels like. Julia, I feel like you're being scapegoated a little bit. And I don't know if you're going to like what I'm going to say, but I want to tell you to sort of let go of expecting anything from anybody. Okay. As soon as you surrender that, things are going to smooth themselves out. Okay. I love you too. You're welcome. As soon as you surrender the expectation of different behavior, different attitude, of consideration, it's going to start to untangle itself, because nothing can stick to you anymore. Okay. So if you're at the center of this and you're being scapegoated and you're just like, I'm not participating anymore, I'm not, I'm not playing, right? You just pick up your stuff and exit the situation, you're going to see that it's going to start to untangle itself. Okay. And yeah, and I feel like, yeah, there's something that you're looking for that isn't coming. You're going to have to make peace with yourself in this situation. Okay. So, I want you to withdraw your participation and to really, again, focus on practicing self-worth, not punishing yourself, not taking the blame, not taking the over responsibility. It's not your responsibility to fix or heal the situation. At this stage in your family drama, the best thing you can do for you is to remove yourself from the situation. And, and just, this is actually the message I've been receiving, but I'm resisting letting go. Okay, good. Yeah. So this is your confirmation. Okay. I want you to really let go. You're going to be fine. Okay. Sometimes we hold on because we think we need whatever it is that we think we need, but you don't need anything. You really don't. You don't need anything outside of yourself. Okay. Julie says this is the affirmation. Okay, good. I let go of it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Don't you feel peace in your body already? Like I just felt goosebumps when I said that to you. So it's just so good to just like make peace with our, whatever is causing us pain. You could retaliate. You could react or say get in that last word, or say whatever you think people need to hear, or you could just not participate. Right. And so this is my advice to you, is to just let go. It's going to bring you so much more peace, and it will untangle itself when you do. Okay. So I hope that's helpful, and come back and let me know how that unfolds. All right. Sending you so much love. All right. Good. Where are we? Here we go. The Beluga Productions. Hello. My name is Raphael. Hello, Raphael, and welcome to Oracle Hour. From a perspective of spiritual clarity, what's an important thing for me to focus on right now? Okay, I love this question. Okay. I mean, the first thing I hear is business. So there's something in your business that needs to change or needs to shift, or there's like a big opportunity. There's a decision that needs to be made. I feel like you want your work, or whatever it is that you're working on, or perhaps it's work that you'd like to achieve. You want it to have more depth and meaning, and you want it to take on a broader concept or a broader reach. It feels like it's something that you want to expand and grow into. And so, this is very much life purpose, energy, like who am I and why am I here? This is a very profound inquiry to be in. When you sit with that energy, these are two of my favorite questions to answer in inner work containers. And so from a spiritual perspective, I think that your best, most viable option right now is to do what feels really, really true for you, even if it means letting some people down and saying no, and reevaluating some things. I feel like there's other people involved as well in these decisions that you're making, or in this business that you're in. And so, it's a matter of, you sort of advocating for the bigger vision. What is the purpose behind this? What are we creating? What am I creating? What do I want to be creating? And really standing in that. And I think that, I don't know what you do, but I feel like you have natural leadership about you. And so people want to lean in and follow your lead and follow what it is that you're suggesting. It's just a matter of you really embodying your authority, if you will, and just staying true to the value that you bring to the work that you're doing. Okay. So, yeah, really focusing on your life purpose. Like, what am I actually here to do? What is the bigger why? What am I here? How am I here to serve others? What is my legacy? What am I building? Those are the questions that you're sort of, ruminating on, and so bringing yourself into alignment with those questions that only you can answer. I feel like I said, you've got natural leadership, and you've got, feel like that, like there's other people involved, and they're looking to you, for direction. And so you're going to be able to create the things that you really want to bring into this material realm, into tangible evidence. When you focus on your own vision versus, giving other people what they want, or trying to do the things that other people are expecting of you. Okay. And I hope that resonates for you. Of course, feel free to confirm any of this. Again, it's about who am I and why am I here? All right. And so this is, if you just focus, if anybody, everybody, whoever is listening, whoever's watching the replay, if you just focus on those two questions, it really helps us bring ourselves into alignment with what we're here to do, how we're here to serve. And this gives meaning to our lives, right? And we feel less like we're wandering around aimlessly, looking for meaning, or looking for direction, or looking for external validation, or looking for other people to tell us what we should be doing. Okay. So personal sovereignty is very important for you at this time, creatively and professionally. And it's going to cause some waves, and it's okay. Your part of you is here to cause waves, right? So that's kind of how you vibe, which is a beautiful thing, right? So I want you to embrace that and trust it. And I say this to everybody, if you don't have a spiritual practice, please get one. It doesn't have to be a big, long thing. Every day you can meditate for 5 to 10 minutes, just breathing into the diaphragm, just staying grounded and in your own energy, and, just setting that intention to receive guidance, getting intimately acquainted with your internal landscape to see what feelings might be coming up for you, and then setting clear intentions with your life, and if you're not clear on what your intentions are, asking for that guidance. Okay. But I would recommend, it's time to take your awareness to the next level, to expand your consciousness, and to really zero in on your service. Okay. That's my message for you, Beluga Productions. And thank you for stopping by. All right, great. Cool. Do we have any other questions, Lacey? Here we go. Lily T. Hi. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see you again. Lily T says, hi, Sabrina. I've been feeling a bit scattered and overwhelmed lately. Can you pick up on anything I need to know right now? You kind of answered my other questions with your responses to Jolie T. Okay, good. I love how that happens. Sure. I'm going to take a sip of water because I'm doing a lot of talking, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all right. So scattered and overwhelmed, my advice would be you need to ground. Okay. So, the mind is either concerned about the future or dwelling on the past, right? So there's no peace in the mind. We want to drop into our bodies when we're feeling scattered and anxious. We want to be able to drop into diaphragmatic breathing, grounding exercises, put your feet in the grass or the sand, go outside, connect to nature. If you're feeling, I think that you've got a lot of things. I'm tuning into your energy specifically now, Lily T. Like, you've got a lot of things going, right? You have a lot of projects. I almost feel like you have a lot of projects that you want to start or have started. And, I have this vision, and maybe this will make you laugh, but I have this vision of like your computer with all these open tabs, it just kind of like there's so many things that you need to do and look into and research and dive into and so on. And so, when you start to feel this energy, it's time to unplug. Okay, so everything works better when we unplug it for a little while, including ourselves. So I want you to unplug from the need to figure things out with your mind and drop into your body and really ground with the diaphragmatic breathing. Bring yourself into the present moment. Let go of the past for now. I know that there's things in the past that keep pulling you back there. Let go of the future because there's so many things you want to do and accomplish, and just have the practice throughout the day. Do it once a day. I would do it in the morning and the evenings, especially if you're feeling anxiety. So if you can make the space for that, that would be so beneficial for you. And really trust, that you're exactly where you need to be right now. Okay. And that there's nothing that you're missing out on. It feels like there's like, oh, what about this? And what about that? Like, there's nothing that you're missing out on. This is a mental construct. It's a conditioned belief. There's no truth to it. Okay. So in this moment, you're exactly where you need to be, and you're, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing at the capacity that you can be doing it. Okay. So I want you to give yourself room to just be where you are. All right. And trust that things will get done as time unfolds, as you have the capacity, as you start to feel better. Okay. Lily T says yes to all of that. Good. Beautiful. And so start closing some tabs on your computer. So yeah, just unplug, really unplug. And, I want to say to you, specifically to you, and of course, this could resonate for other people as well. You're going to get some really cool downloads when you stop using your mind to figure things out. Okay, so you're going to, lots of information and truth is going to start to trickle in for you as you stop trying to make sense of things with your mind. All right. In fact, I want to say that some of the answers you seek to things are like, I have this vision of you kind of like leaning down on the ground, right? So it could be somewhere in your room or somewhere in your house. All of a sudden, there's this piece of paper that you've been looking for, or this thing that you've been looking for that's been there the whole time. Okay. So this is very specific to you, Lily T. I want you to just unplug, ground, and just get present to your environment, because answers will start to come through, and you're going to actually stumble upon some clues, some things that you've been looking for in this process. Okay. So I hope that's helpful. Amazing. Wow. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. Let's see. Do we have time for one more question? Let's take one more question. Let me see if we have. Hi, Emily. Okay, Emily says, hello. May I ask if I should move back to Hawaii and study biology or stay where I am? Again, big choices and big decisions. I don't know if you were here for the beginning, and I'm sorry for those of you that have stayed the whole hour as I keep repeating myself. I want you to really focus on what is driving this choice. Is it fear? Right? Is it like the fear of missing out, or the attachment to something familiar because we can't stay in the sacred pause, the void, right? The unknown? Or is it a grounded, sane, loving approach to your decision-making process? Okay. So your body already knows the answer. Okay. And then I'm going to give you my psychic hit because you asked me, because you're here. But your body already knows the answer. So here we go. I get a yes, I'm going. I really do. I think it's going to really expand your heart, your life, there's something very healing. Of course, it's this true for all of us. There's something very healing about being in nature, but for you specifically, being in that climate and being in that ecosystem is very beneficial for you, right? Not everybody thrives in the same type of environment. You will do really well there. Okay. I keep seeing monarch butterflies when I tune into your energy as well. So it's kind of like there's like one on landing on your hand as you're out in nature. And so it's really important for you to be in this nature-based environment, to spend more time outside and to really connect with that part of you, the part of you that it feels drawn to the culture that's in Hawaii, the land, you may not even realize this yet, but there's like a strong connection for you there. Okay. So I would give you my blessing, of course you should move to Hawaii. And I want to say that there's no wrong choice, right? There's just, what you're choosing is either going to present one set of circumstances you can learn and grow from, or another set of circumstances you can learn and grow from. Okay. So I love butterflies. Okay, good. I've been trying to convince my mom to get a crown flower tree. Beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, I think this will be so beneficial for you to go there and to really expand. And there's something about living there it's like, it's a smaller environment. It's less crowded. It's less people. There's more community. I think you're really going to fall in love with it. Oh, I was born there. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. So, it's, you have a really strong connection to this place. This is what I'm sensing. So it's kind of like full circle for you to go back there and with this version of you and do the things that you love and enjoy the environment and enjoy reconnecting with the energy of Hawaii. Okay. So like I said, there's no wrong choice, but this choice is very beneficial for your trajectory, for your expansion, and for what you want to create in your life. Okay, Emily? I hope that was helpful. That's my blessing to you. Wonderful. Okay, good. Thank you, everybody, for joining me as usual. I love being here with you all. For those of you that received a message, I hope it landed for you. I hope it's exactly what you were looking for and exactly what you needed. If you didn't get your question answered, you can leave it in the comment section. I do my best to get to all the comments, or you can come here next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be here, or you can book a reading. You can book an hour of my undivided attention. There is the link to book your reading. Thank you, Lacey. You can book a mediumship reading. You can book an intuitive life guidance session. You can book life regression, soul regression session as well on that page. And of course, there's many other programs if you want to spend some time on my website. I just love all of you for joining me. And again, stay grounded in the truth, stay grounded in love. That is my message for you tonight. And for the mediumship connection, before I forget as well, the link to book that, the mediumship demonstration class that we're having in April, is also at the bottom here. We're going to link it at the bottom of the video once we end. There it is. Thank you so much, Lacey. All right, beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I will see you all next Wednesday. All my love.